Just getting some technical things squared away. Give us 1 minute. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat, feel free to do so. Got some things up there you can use to introduce yourself with if there's want to take that opportunity. A couple more people that are jumping on. Okay. I think we're gonna get started. Let me next. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're reaching us from. We want to welcome you to the first network meeting for 2025. I'm really excited to be here. If you've been on the call before in the last year, you may have seen my face before. I was the chair-elect last year. Really excited to take on the responsibility of the chair role this year. Have a lot of great things to share with you all in this meeting today. It's going to be a lot of talking, to you. Maybe not a lot of opportunities for you to kind of join in the conversation, but we hope that in the coming meetings you'll definitely have plenty of opportunities to be heard and to join the conversation a little more directly. But if we have time at the end, we'll definitely open it up for an open forum for you all to join in. So we have a great agenda pulled together for today. Really excited to have some visitors with us to join the chat, which will be coming up soon. So why don't we just go ahead and get started? We'll start with introductions. Trying to get my, we're going to start with introductions, and I wanted to start with kind of the Akulai facilities tent. So it's not necessarily an umbrella. It's not a top-down kind of situation, but it is definitely a opportunity for us to kind of expand what we're doing here and what we're talking about here in the network, and kind of see some people and make some connections here outside of this network in case you have other interests that are going to expand. And what you might hear from other people today seems of interest to you. So we'll get started by talking about this network. So our network is comprised of three leaders you see up there, myself, the chair-elect, and our association liaison. So just a little bit about me first. So I've been in higher ed for almost 18 years as a resident and through residence education, did some occupancy management, worked in a public-private partnership, and then kind of got into facilities about 13 years ago. That was definitely a growing passion of mine throughout my time as a residence director. And so really looked forward to expanding my experiences. And this network was one of the first things that I kind of ran across. And so really excited to, all these years later, come full circle and be able to volunteer my time. Most of my time in facilities has been in housing facilities, but I spent about 2.5 years in academic and research facilities before coming back to housing because I really love what I do day in, day out, and I really miss that work. And so really excited to be back the last 4 years at Emory University as the Director of Facilities and Operation for Housing. I want to turn it over to Brandon, let him introduce himself, and why don't you take it away, Brandon?
Hi, everybody. Brandon Chandler. I am the Executive Director of University Housing and Residential Life at Temple University in Philadelphia. I have started in this role here back in December of 2024, so new to the role, but not the institution. Prior to that, I was our Director of Housing Facilities here for 5 years. And then I spent a stint prior to that at Rutgers University over in New Jersey as the Chief Housing Officer for the one of the campuses, and had facilities and housekeeping under my role there. I don't really have a ton of remarks, just excited to continue the discussion with you all and be of support as much as I can as we go through the next couple of months together.
Yeah, thank you, Brandon. We're excited that you've taken up the volunteer opportunity. And we've already started working on some great things coming up that we'll share in this meeting. So we're really excited to work together with Brandon and Emily to make those things happen. So Emily Kelly is our association kind of liaison. She is the Learning and Professional Development Director for ACUHO-I. She unfortunately was traveling today and wasn't able to join herself. And I couldn't do her introduction any justice. So we're going to kind of let her do that next time when she is able to meet with us. So looking forward to meeting her and learning a little bit more about the things that she does and the networks and groups that she's connected with in ACUHO-I, and learn more about what she has in store throughout the association offerings as well as this network. Okay, so next up is Barry Olson. Barry, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure, Ray. Good afternoon, everybody. Barry Olson. I am an Associate Vice President at Western Michigan University, and I am also serving as your Director of Facilities and Physical Environment Committee or group, really through ACUHO-I. So my role runs through 2026, and I'm just looking forward to getting back into the facilities realm. I did a lot of this stuff back in the day, I'd say the mid 2000s through kind of 2015 or so, 2016. So it's exciting to get back into things. As your representative, I'm here to help further the cause, to try to update and offer opportunities for us to make an impact. And I know we do. We all know we do. We're often kind of in the unsung heroes category. So it's great to see you all, and I look forward to listening and finding space and place where I can. So thanks, Ray.
Yeah, thanks, Barry. Our early conversations with Barry have been amazing, very compassionate, and loves what he does as well, and is really going to be pushing for us to kind of up our game within the association. So excited to continue working with you, Barry. Appreciate that. Next, under that tent is our colleagues in the Sustainability Network. Lisa and Ashley were not able to join. I'm pretty sure I didn't see Ashley jump on. Oops, sorry. Whoop. Got too far ahead of myself. Were able to join today. However, they did want us to help us to help them advertise their network meeting, which she did email out today. So if you're on the Open Forum Digest, you probably saw her email today. But their meetings are on the last Wednesday of each month at 2 p.m. Eastern time as well. And she had a great note today about, even if your direct role is not sustainability, but you have a passion for the work and want to get involved, it's a great way to do that. So looking forward to hearing more from our colleagues over in sustainability throughout this year as well. Okay, And then kind of rounding out our tent is our colleagues over in the conference, the facilities conference. And Allison is here today to kind of talk more about that. So Allison, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and what you have to share with us today about the conference.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Allison Fox. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the Associate Director for Housing Facilities at Tulane University in New Orleans. I am the chair for the 2025 Akuai APA Housing Facilities Conference. And then Caleb Lee, who is not able to join us today, is the chair-elect. I think, Ray, you said it really well. I'm not going to attempt to do his introduction because it would not do him justice. But he does plan to join for future meetings. We're really excited. I don't know how many of you know about the conference, but it's a really cool opportunity to get involved and get connected with other housing facilities professionals around the country and around the world. If you're not familiar, Akuai partners with APA to host an annual conference just for housing facilities professionals. We have joined with as a content series conference with the Business Operations Akuai Conference, as well as Akuai, it's now Residential Education. And so we will run concurrently, but we are really excited to have some joint programming and some individual programming to make sure that we can celebrate the good work that we do and get to hear specifically from housing facilities colleagues. So that's a little bit about the conference. I've got some dates I'll share with you in a second. As I mentioned, I'm the chair for the conference committee. Caleb is the chair-elect. We also have another, I don't remember what his title is, but a third person that I don't think is able to join us, Tyler from, I believe he's at Texas Tech, somewhere in Texas. I should remember that. I apologize. But we're really excited to get to help plan this year's conference and work with the Akuai and APA to develop some really great programs. So I am going to post in the chat a couple of important dates for you to be aware of. The first is actually March 3rd, which is just under 2 weeks away. Our call for programs is opening. That's going to be where you can submit programs that you want to present or roundtables that you'd like to host and some opportunities for you to get involved. The priority deadline for that call for programs is April 30th, though we will continue to accept until all of our program slots are full. So that's a really important date. And then obviously our conference dates are important. We will be, I apologize, I said Akuai, it's Akuai and APA. And we are hosting the conference this year in St. Louis. Those dates are October 13th through the 16th. So put that on your calendars, plan ahead for that. It's a really great opportunity, like I said, to connect with everyone. I would be remiss if I didn't mention some opportunities for you to get involved between now and October. And so Caleb, as part of his chair-elect position, does run our programming committee. And so they are meeting this Thursday, actually, to start and talk about our call for programs process and how do we recruit some really great programs and how do we do outreach to encourage people to submit program proposals for the great work that they're doing and to share some of their content and their information on housing facilities specifically. And so if you'd like to be a part of that, we would love to have more people on that committee. You'd get to be a part of reviewing those programs and deciding which programs will present at the conference and get to be a part of that whole process. And then obviously we'd love for anyone, even if you don't want to be on the programming committee or you're not ready for that yet, we'd love to see you at the conference in October in St. Louis.
Great. That's awesome. Thanks, Allison. Yeah, we're really excited for that conference. In the network, we really try to kind of get our network involved in submitting programs. So real excited to maybe at our next meeting have more conversations about those who are really interested in getting more involved. So I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. So our next, we're going to start getting into our goals and some kind of housekeeping items about the network. Before I forget though, I'm going to go ahead, I'm putting my email in the chat. Would love to hear from you all. There are going to be some things in the coming slides that's going to ask for your thoughts or things you might want to weigh in on. And so I'd love to hear from you directly, just as kind of a special call out. My last name only has one R in it, and it's before the T. A lot of people sometimes type in that extra R after the first E, and they don't get to me. So just that's a Louisiana thing. I'm going to call that out. Yes. So yeah. So let's get started with our first goal of this year. So our first goal is to plan out some topics that are relevant to you all throughout the year to help grow membership engagement. So our first action item was to kind of create a list of topics for this year. And that list is on the right side of the slide that you read all these topics. So if you're wondering where these topics came from, how are they kind of compiled? Well, last year at the end of our 2024 meeting series, we asked everyone who was in attendance what kind of things they were looking for. And then there were some additional things that throughout the year I had picked up that people might be interested in. And then some things that I have noticed have become, trends throughout recent months when it comes to facilities publications. So just compiled this whole list here. I'm going to look for an opportunity soon to send this out to everyone in the network to kind of get your feedback and thoughts, maybe a poll to see what you're most interested in so that we can get started inviting people to stop by. Could be vendors, could be experts in the field, could be people from other parts of housing or from central facilities to come in and kind of help guide our conversations. So once we've kind of gotten a good sense of what this year is going to look like, we want to advertise kind of month by month what those topics are going to be so that people know when's a great time to take a minute, take an hour out of your very busy schedules and invest in your professional development. We know in facilities, it's really hard to kind of plan ahead when it comes to taking time for your professional development. But we hope that this committee kind of provides an easy opportunity for you to do that in under an hour a month. And so if you're thinking about how can I spend an hour a month kind of growing, we hope you at least consider us in this year. And so look out, like I said, for more opportunities to weigh in on those options. And if you have other options that you think would be more relevant, happy to hear those. Again, my email address is in the chat. Okay. Our second goal was to help build bridges between seasoned and new professionals to promote mentorship and professional development, but also broadening perspectives. So one of the things that we're going to be doing in the next few meetings is to carve out some time to pose a question to seasoned professionals, and so we can kind of see how we define season based on the audience that we have that attend the meetings. But essentially, for seasoned professionals, we want to ask a question to new professionals that help shed light on what is going on with this next generation of facilities professionals, what's motivating them, what's driving them, kind of what are some of the things that they're missing or skills they want to develop so that they can take that back to their home institutions and kind of work and have great conversations with their staff. And then on the flip side, a question that new professionals would want to ask someone who's been in the field 15, 20 years, things about how they developed in their career, things about what's most important for them to understand about taking that next step, things that are important and skills to develop. And so we hope that out of that creates some natural, organic opportunity for mentorship. Mentorship sometimes in the field is very difficult just because, like I said, everyone in facilities gets really busy and it's hard to prioritize, those conversations. But it's such a great benefit that I've been lucky in my time as a young professional to have someone to bounce those questions off of. And so looking for opportunities both here and kind of outside of these network meetings to help staff from all ranges connect. So excited about doing some more with that. So hopefully more to come soon on that goal. Third, we want to strengthen our connections between the Housing Facilities and Services Network to APA, to the other Okuhai networks, and hopefully grow beneficially with topics that are important to us, but things that these other networks and these other groups are essentially begging us to be a part of the conversation for. We attend a volunteer summit at the beginning in January, and so all the chairs and chair elects get to meet the other volunteers in the other networks and the other groups in CUHO. And one of the things that I heard a lot was we want facilities to come in and talk to us. And this is the women's group, the LGBT group, the Latin group, and these are groups that are saying we would love to know more and we'd love to connect more with facilities professionals. And so we want to find ways to do that. So first and foremost is identifying those groups within Okuhai, kind of developing connections with their leaders, going to their meetings and them being invited to our meetings, connecting regularly, both outside and inside, on different opportunities to present at conferences or at other meetings, and kind of just grow those opportunities that are going to fulfill what they're needing from us as facilities professionals. Also with APA, there are a lot of institutions where central facilities manage the housing units, and they want to understand a little bit more about the specialized knowledge that we have. And so it's a great chance for us to kind of get into the door. I don't know how many of you work at institutions where the facility services provided in your housing units are from a central facilities group like mine. But when you have those conversations with those central facilities folks, they want to know what's so important about housing. What's your perspective on why and when we work in the residence halls? And so it's a great opportunity for us to kind of share our values and the things that are important to us. And just finding other opportunities to interact with these groups. So attending other network meetings, like I said, going to conferences where these central facilities folks are, and just meeting everyone where they're at, and kind of being open to the discussions that come from that. So excited to partner with other people on this call and in the network that are really driven to do make those connections. Really excited about the opportunities that could come from that. And finally, our fourth goal was to identify a topic or two to build a facilities-related webinar for the association. So we, at the beginning, during the volunteer summit, we were really encouraged to this year take the opportunity to present a topic in two different webinars that would help share some of the knowledge and skills that we have. So first and foremost, we want to hear from you all. And so, like I said, that email address is great to send me your thoughts on what you would like to see. Because our first webinar that we're going to do, the audience is really going to be you all, the facilities professionals on your campus, whether they be in housing or outside of housing. We want to provide a topic that's really central to what the needs of our colleagues are. And we're hoping to target that webinar sometime in July. And then the second webinar we're hoping to create is really more for other housing professionals. So, we get an opportunity to focus on ourselves, but then we get an opportunity to share our knowledge with others. And so the intention is to kind of get some volunteers from this group to join Brandon, Emily, and I in the development of this webinar that we can go in November to share a little bit about a topic that we think is really important, which is the role of facility staff in crisis response and planning. Shout out to Brandon for that idea. It was a really great suggestion. And so we're going to be looking forward to kind of connecting with all of you throughout the year and kind of cherry picking from all of you. What should that webinar look like? What should be included in that? So really excited about that. I don't know when the last time the Facilities Network has hosted a webinar, but we're really driven this year to make those 2 webinars happen. Okay. So a little bit of housekeeping. So we talked about our interest in building connections with one another. And there are a couple ways that we are going to do that. First and foremost is this meeting. So a list of the meetings this year were sent out. Maybe you saw this on one of the digests of the online communities that you belong to, but here they are again. We meet monthly with the exception of May and August. And as I said, we're going to be doing the webinars in July and November. And so first and foremost, this is a great way to connect. Like I said, this might be a lot of us talking today, but for those who have been on this call before, you know that there's great opportunities for conversations to develop and talk about things that are going on your campus and ways that people from this group can kind of provide some perspective or kind of ideas on how to kind of navigate any challenges you might be experiencing. So that's first and foremost one of the best ways that we can connect. The second is engaging in the Akuho online communities, which we're going to talk a little bit about how to set that up in the next slide. And so first and foremost, the main point of our communication, or the main conduit for our communication, is going to be the Housing Facilities Management online community. And so we're going to kind of try to build up engagement on that specific community. But we're also going to use the open forum as kind of a secondary communication device. So that's announcing anything that we might have coming up, or sharing information about these meetings with others who aren't able to attend. So that'll be our kind of our main go. And then we'll talk about in the next slide how to opt into the digest and kind of some options that you have for receiving any communications that come through that. Next, attending and hopefully volunteering at Kuhuai conferences and events. They're great ways for us to connect and to share with colleagues. I've been on the exhibits committee since 2011, and so every time I get to go to the Campus Home Live event, I have a great opportunity to meet new colleagues who have joined the committee since the previous year and connect with old colleagues throughout different facets of housing. So there are facilities people there, there are executive directors and residence education folks and occupancy and assignments folks. And so it's a great way for us to connect with one another in person or virtually, because some of the events there are virtual. And kind of lastly, one of the things that I've been encouraged in this last couple months is to start collaborating with one another to develop articles that we can submit to the Talking Stick. What's great about the Talking Stick is they have a lot of great support from Akuho'ai that if we start with an idea and we collaborate with one of the team members on the Talking Stick, in the Talking Stick group, they'll help us get to the finish line. They're great support, and they're really excited to partner with facilities, especially network folks, to get great things in the Talking Sticks, in the Talking Stick editions that help connect with us with those who cannot be here at this meeting. Okay, so like I said, the online community, a great way for us to connect. The first thing you're going to do is go to Aku Hawaii. So if you have not joined yet an online community, you want to click up at the top where it says online community. That's going to take you to a second page, which is at the top on the right. And then there you have either the opportunity to create your own account if you don't have one already, or sign into your account. So once you've done either, the next screen up at the top, there's going to be a banner. I've just captured the banner itself for that page. Then you're going to go over to towards the right once you're logged in, and then you're going to sign in to the online community. That's going to take you to another page, and that page's banner is that third box. Then you want to click on the communities drop down. You want to select all communities, and then all the communities that Aku Hawaii has, online communities have, are going to pop up. Select any and all committees that communities that you're interested in. Like I said, ours is called the Housing Facilities Management Community. Once you've joined, you can access your settings up at the top. There's a settings bar, and you can select the frequency that you would receive your digest. So there's a way you can receive those messages that get posted immediately. You can do a daily, I believe a weekly, or you can opt out completely of the digest. But like I said, that digest is really going to help you connect with any communications that myself, Allison, Barry, any of our colleagues and facilities utilize to communicate the things that are going on that might be of interest to you. There are currently 346 members in that online community. That was as of, I think, yesterday. It was that 346. So if you haven't joined that yet, please consider it. We'd love to see that number go up. I believe the open forum has about 600 something members. So we'd love to grow engagement with that, and would love to hear what you have to say. It's a great opportunity for us to connect, and looking forward to seeing all of you posting and responding. And I'm going to hold myself accountable to being more active as well on that this year. And so looking forward to that. Okay. So finally, one thing I want to do kind of at every meeting is to kind of give a shout out to some professional development opportunities. And so first and foremost, our association events and professional development opportunities. There's Campus Home Live, which is coming up this summer in Columbus. That's when everyone across the housing profession come together. Then, as Allison had mentioned, the Aku Hawaii APA Facilities Conference in October is set to bring us together in St. Louis, Missouri. And then there are all kinds of, like I said, networks that you can join in on. You don't have to be kind of central to those groups if you have an interest in them, including our sustainability network. And all you have to do is go to the Aku Hawaii website, down to upcoming events, and you will see all the upcoming events for those networks kind of laid out. And then you'll be able to register for those meetings, those network meetings, as well as any other conference or event that's coming up that you might be interested in. Depending on where you are, there are several virtual conferences and symposiums that happen. Last year, I was lucky to be with the Live-In Symposium team and present on facilities there. So it was a really exciting opportunity. And then some external organizations. I know you're seeing a lot of APA there. They are a pretty relevant outside organization for us, but hoping that there's some more that will pop up. But I will be attending in April in New Orleans the spring conference. So if you're heading towards that, love to connect with you in person. So let me know if you are going to be in New Orleans this April. I'm from Louisiana originally, so April's a nice time to go. I've been to Akuhawai in July in New Orleans, and that was less nice to be there. So April's a good time in Louisiana. I think it's out of crawfish season, but there's still a lot of great food down in the quarter. And then some other programs that APA provides that I've heard great things about, I haven't attended them, is their Institute for Facilities Management and their Leadership Academy. They kind of lend towards different parts of your career. So if you're on one end or the other, they might be a great way for you to get some new skills and knowledge base. And then one thing I'm really excited, or one thing I was really excited to do was to get my CEFP. It's typically an online course where you meet pretty regularly throughout I think it's about a couple months, where Steve McKenzie, who was the chair last year and our exec board member, Steve was my facilities, like the instructor. And so that's how I kind of got to know Steve a little bit more. And I completed my CEFP. There are cohorts that are starting in April, July, and October for this year. So if you're interested in getting your CEFP and learning more, APA is the way to go. Any other professional development opportunities you're aware of that you'd like to give a shout out to now?
I just threw in the chat a link to the NFMT conference. That one is next month in Baltimore. And I know they typically do one, I think maybe around October, November on the West Coast. I think it was in Las Vegas last year. Typically like dirt cheap registration fees. So as long as you can get there and you find a hotel, the conference itself is pretty affordable. Definitely if you're within driving distance, it's definitely usually time well spent, but it's a great cross-section of people that do facilities work in K-12, federal government, and other large facilities. So there's a lot of cross connects with us. And typically they are co-located with something called the Clean Buildings Conference. I know that they do that in Baltimore. So if you have housekeeping underneath your portfolio, there's some great information there for yourself or for your housekeeping supervisors that would help them turn the needle on some things they're working on as well.
That's a great suggestion. I've been at NFMT in Baltimore when I was in College Park. It is a great conference. Learned a lot about fire safety regulations that were changing. Really great group of people that attend. So yeah, I echo that, Brandon. That's a great conference.
I apologize if you mentioned this, Ray, but I'll also give a shout out to the regional APA organizations. That's a great way to also connect on a smaller scale. If for some people, you know, a big wide conference is overwhelming, and to connect with people specifically in your area. So that's something I'm really excited to do probably in the next couple of years as well.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for bringing that up, because I did mean to mention regionals, because I think I was pretty focused on national events, and I just want to say that I'm very aware it's not only an opportunity for us to kind of be with one another and learn from one another. Regionals are a great way for you and a lot of your frontline staff to gain some of those skills and knowledge. So yeah, so thanks.
Yeah, I recently attended the Louisiana Housing Organization or something. They had a just a lunch webinar to connect with people in similar roles. And as a facilities person, I was like, this is probably all going to be Res Life people, but I ended up connecting with someone very close by who has some of the same struggles as me in Star Res. And so we had a really good conversation and are planning to connect and help each other with our processes. So just want to throw that out there.
That's great. That's great. Anyone involved in any regional volunteer roles or Anyone want to speak up on kind of their experience going to regional conferences? It's okay. I promise you wouldn't have to talk, and I did it. I did it. So apologize. Okay, great. So the goal really is to fill up this hour, but I have to say that's all I prepared today. So if there's anything else on your mind, I'll give it a few minutes to. We'll open up kind of an open forum, even though I haven't put questions or open forum. I just do want to thank you all for attending this first meeting. Like I said, my goal is to put out our agenda for our next meeting at some point in the middle between now and this next month. And so be on the lookout, join the online community, and let us know what you think. So be on the lookout for something from me, or you might hear from someone else on this group. But I do want to thank everyone who came out to join the conversation, especially Barry and Allison and Brandon. Thank you for joining in. Looking forward to hearing more from you in the coming months, but also to hear from all of you the next time we meet. So looking forward to it. But like I said, I'll leave it open for anyone who wants to share anything. And if not, enjoy that last 15 minutes.
I'll throw this out there. I don't know if anybody, two things on my brain. I don't know if anybody is working on any program proposals, call for programs for any of the various conferences that are coming up, but sometimes things are better done in pairs. So if you're looking for a co and somebody to help generate half the slides and half the effort, please let me know. I'll drop my email in the chat. My brain is mush right now to think of ideas on my own, but happy to support someone else's ideas. And then the other thing I was going to say is we are getting ready to transition from SchoolDude to Asset Essentials for our CMMS platform next month, or sorry, this month.
Yeah, this month.
Later this month. So if any of you have made a similar transition with your maintenance platform, I'd love to talk to you to learn some don't do thises before we make errors as we go through the process. Thanks.
Brandon, I love that you mentioned that. Thank you, especially the program proposals. I'll throw out there that I'm always looking for people to connect on StarRez and room turnover inspections, housekeeping, etc. So if anyone's using StarRez for those things, I would love to connect as well on those topics.
Allison, we should talk. We attempted to use the room turn housekeeping and maintenance module in StarRez, and we tried it for a year and we abandoned it. It didn't do enough to make it worth our while, but maybe if we put two heads and campuses together, maybe I can help you and maybe you can re-inspire us to try again.
Yeah, I'd love that. I have figured out some good turnover using housekeeping module that works. It works. It's not the best, but I'm committed to it for now. So we'll definitely connect because I'll be curious to see what you tried.
Sounds good. I'll shoot you an email. We can start the combo.
Yeah. That's great. We're about to transition to StarRez, so I'll wait for both of you to have your chat, and then I'll get your notes. Well, I think we'll stop the recording just to kind of put a placeholder on that. See, Spencer. I think we lost Spencer. Okay. Okay, I think we've ended it. So just wanted to, again, thank everybody. Looking forward to connecting next time. I think Spencer headed out. And so this will close on us pretty soon. So thanks all again. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you all next time.